to think ahead of when you're making a point out of a blade, and we already have a little bit of a flat side hit, but we also have a little crack right here. So in order to get rid of that, is one of the first things you want to do is a little bit of abrasion and the billet, and come from this angle. Now it also has a crack here, so these flakes might not, but the goal is to run that all the way through there. It went in there mostly, so that's what released, it got rid of basically this crack and that crack. And then when you look at it, you're still focusing on the flat side. One side does not mean you don't take flakes off the other side when they're available, but you focus on getting one side flat, and that keeps it a little easier for anyone making a point. And it's a little quicker because when you focus on one side, basically you get that side finished, and then you work on the other side. But you mainly want to, every time you work on the flat side, the longer you work on that, the more it brings you to the ridge side where you can flake that easier. So, and including all the bad hits. But this one's pretty well cleaned up as far as having cracks or flaws on this side. Then when you look at the other side, it's got a dip, and these are things you work at once you have that flat side. So that's about all we need to talk about on this one until we. The one other thing I need to mention is you work both ends and then work the middle. Well, and a lot of bad hits. Okay, got it. Okay, this is one that when you have a square edge, although this one is tapered a little bit, so you can flake off of that side, at least several flakes before you have to worry about your square edge. And also, since you got two flat sides, I guess it's not that hard to, you just start flaking one of them. And I just continue taking them off of that side until it brings this level closer to that line, where then you will work on that side. With a copper tool, it needs more abrasion than with an antler tool, so always remember that. You see where it pulled a little bit on that, and I'm not sure whether the crystal or something holding that flake from. And again, work both ends before you get thin, before you send the center too much. Now we're getting closer to that other side that we want to get that ridge out of. So it's best keep working that one flat side till we can get. So there's a little cut. So we know that's a good place to start to do this other side. Still a little cut in there, but And the other thing to remember is, especially, is never to take too big a bites off of there when you're so it's slowly we're getting rid of this high ridge. This one still has a crack in there, so I don't want to take too big a flake off of there because it will break it. So it's been running, going right into it. And it's still there, it hasn't. I'm not sure, a lot of times you can't say because there is a line running all the way through there. Well, seems like it's coming apart at the wheels. Well,
Yeah.
that did. Now that might not be a good one to have on.
Yeah, maybe we can erase that one.
But that was just what happens when you have a little bit of a cut and you hit on the end, it'll open it up and break it. And you can see it had a cut right there. And that's why that shock wave did not go all the way through there. When you hit it on this end, it'll snap it. So there's one for the bone pile. And it just, a lot of small flakes to get rid of a cut is the best way to it. Now, when you have a small piece to begin with, it's hard to, it's got a lot of conglomerate in there. That should have opened it. There's still that line that runs through there. Sometimes it flakes across them pretty well. That was not a good one. They're pretty much a spur of the moment reaction of what you see, especially when you got a camera on you. So there, that one is gone. And these here straight edges just have to deal with them one flake at a time, and there's no shortcuts. But anyhow, that one's pretty well cleaned up. So all that's left is just to continue it and spin it out. So that one took a dive in there because of a crystal being in there. Just match it up from the other side. When you see that, then you got to come over on this side and match it up. Starting up here in this. Still a little bit of a hump, but not much. So you can easily match that up. So that's about all we'll do on that one for now.